Peut-être tout ça.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the New Releases Show from Variant Edition. My name is Brandon. I'm joined here by... I do have plans for co-host duties and whatnot when the show changes. I'm going to say September. And I say September mostly because... I'm going away for 2 weeks in August, and then I'll have to catch up from being away for 2 weeks in August. Can't remember if I've told everybody, but I'm going to Ireland for like 16 days. I will apparently get my passport 2 days before I go off. I get to pick it up, so that was close. It's the fun of passport stuff in general when you send off all of your stuff and they seem to just lose it all, and then you have to renew your passport without your passport. It was great fun. I think total I spent like 9 hours trying to figure all that out, but for the first time since I think well before the store opened, actually, this boy is taking off more than 6 days. It has not happened in over a decade. So that should be interesting. Of course, we'll be still working a little bit from yonder, as the kids say. Hey, folks. Hope y'all are doing well tonight. A few interesting things happening this weekend is... on Saturday is our store signing with Neil Barnholden. It will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. He will be in store signing copies of his book. Brandon, you had it in your head. From Richie Rich to Gum Wrappers, I believe. Brandon, if only there was a way to prepare and to have it in front of your face. Oh, why are you showing me the old site? Oh, why is life like this? There we go. From Gum Wrappers to Richie Rich. See, I got it backwards, but I freaking did it with my brain. It is a fascinating book. I'm a little ways through it right now. Very academic, but talks about the material form of comics and how it lends to its perception across the board. It's really cool. So that's going to be happening on Saturday. On Friday's the day when I find out whether or not I won an Eisner Award with Danica. The Eisner Awards are taking place on Friday night. Danica and I were nominated for Best Comics Journalism / periodical, not periodical, maybe publication, but comics journalism basically in general. We are nominated with a bunch of other wonderful folks. I highly suspect David Harper of Sketched is going to run away with that, but still a pretty good chance that we pull off a little surprise. And that would be really cool. But regardless, you know, your boy is a Eisner nominated comics journalist. And specifically, and not like as a site, as an entity. Like, that's cool. There's not many people that can say they've been nominated for an Eisner. So went to see my therapist on Monday, and as I've had similar discussions with Danica, both of us are really bad at this. We're trying to accept that the good things that are happening to us are deserved. Because as I was explaining different things that have happened with the store and whatnot, and how I explained kind of my own self-worth, like the store won an award for best shop in Canada, in particular because of the stance that we took and held when Comicsgate folks attacked us, and we pushed through and showed that we can all be better, that we can operate a safe space, and that that's really a big part of what this industry really needs and wants and craves. And this nomination, and honestly, the fact that we have these wonderful customers who stick with us. I don't know very many businesses that can survive a flood based off of the support of the continued support of their customers. Even in a different location, even, you know, under strenuous circumstances, like, we were able to carry through. And it's evidence of good all around us that sort of supports the idea that we might actually be okay people. I might actually be an okay person. A little hard to accept due to my brain stuff. So therapy's been great, actually. I've been given a writing task this time. There's a note in my notebook that I will have to look up again. There's a couple things that I had for homework. So we will do that, and we will go through. Okie dokie. Well, we've got a little bit of stack. There's a couple companies taking some big swings this week. And a couple of them sort of had very similar ideas, but in two very distinct different ways. So up first, we have the return of EC Comics. EC Comics back in the day was a very genre-heavy company, mostly known for their horror and a little bit for their sci-fi. And EC Comics mostly disappeared. Sweet. EC Comics mostly disappeared during the litigation of comics estates, basically, or that are terrible for children, the seduction of the innocent, all of that stuff. Frederick Wertham. And this is the first batch of EC Comics since that time, unless you count Mad Magazine, which started out as a comic book under EC Comics. EC apparently stands for Entertaining Comic. So Entertaining Comics, like Detective Comics. Oni Press has reintroduced the brand, and they are doing out the gate some horror and sci-fi, really in the vein of old EC Comics. They've even hired Richard Starkings to build a font based off of one of the older, based off of the lettering style from one of the main letters of the EC Comics line, which is really cool. They also have hosts, as a lot of the comics did, sort of like an original Crypt Keeper type of style, and Tass. And this is the return date that they have. Of course, San Diego weekend, so they could do a big to-do surrounding essentially the return of a very influential old publication line. They're doing new books instead of the original names of the comics from back in the day. And one of the reasons why they wanted to do that was while they want to honor the EC tradition, what they want to do to honor that is to push forward and to come up with new names. It's so easy to kind of look back, but they want to move forward with everything. And this is sort of like a symbolic gesture of like they're thinking forward while recognizing what EC's indelible style was, and really putting in a lot of effort into not mimicking it, but paying homage to a lot of the story style. So the stories in here are absolutely wonderful. I am so happy with them. I love the design efforts that have been put in. This is Ryan Hughes, I believe, has been doing this line. And there's a bunch of covers. I only brought 3 because these are the 3 open to order covers basically that they have. Yeah, there's a whole slew of other ones. I'm very happy with what I've read here and the style and what the editorial said when we were on a call that Oni held about the line and a lot of future things, some things that they're going to announce this weekend, including what is a first for the EC Comics line that they're extremely proud of, but really want to build in kind of a shared culture and whatnot. So I'm really excited for it. It's really cool. Danica's here. Hi, Danica. I am looking forward to a link. Taz, you goof. Thanks for being around. Yes, absolutely. Including you, dude. I appreciate the message. And yeah, the style and everything that they've put into this book and the upcoming sci-fi book, I'm pretty blown away by it. And Andrew's right. There's a ton of EC reprints with the old names floating around, and new titles kind of will differentiate the collected editions too when they come out. And it really, to put it into modern terms, the SEO is better if you have something unique. Well, in a very similar vein, there's also Hello Darkness from Boom, which is doing a really similar idea, bringing back horror anthology. And both of these companies are doing it in very similar but very unique different ways. Got a nice Jenny Frison cover there. Real spookers. So Hello Darkness, there's something in the water. Both editorial have letters in the back exploring why they really wanted to do something like this. And while Oni is kind of using more of a recognition with EC and building from that style, Hello Darkness is also kind of doing the horror stories, but definitely anchoring the stories in more modern fears, I would say. The EC stuff is more pulpy and visceral, I would say. And Hello Darkness really takes the horror genre and really does more of like Get Out stuff with it. Though the opening issues are going to have a story from the about Erica Slaughter from James Tynion and Werther Dell'Edera. And that's going to be running through the first few issues. There's also The War from Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan, so they really do have some big names coming out swinging. But I read through these, and there's a couple of them that genuinely chilled me. The first story, Contagious. Oh my goodness. It's about kids who just kind of start randomly killing authority figures. And the fact that it's called Contagious will give you a little hint as to why. But when the whole thing kind of lays bare, boy, did it dig under my skin. Epitaphs also had a lot of good stuff. There's a particular one about a writer who believes he's got this great thing in him, and his buddy kind of comes up with something off the fly that he's like, oh my god, this is amazing, and things take a dark turn from there. That has some interesting pulpiness to it, and like each of these have something that'll stick right to the bones. Also this week, the return of Berserker. This one is written by Jason Aaron with Salvador Larroca. So you have kind of Jason Aaron's very gritty take. I say gritty. Berserker is already, my pitch for Berserker was, it's like John Wick, but with more violence. And a different sort of more mythological character, basically. So Berserker's back. And this is a one-shot. There'll be another one-shot from the original creative team of Matt Kint and Ron Garney coming out very shortly in the next month as well. But, you know, you want a big Keanu Reeves book out during San Diego. And what do you also want during San Diego? Segue into another Jason Aaron bit of business. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to be written by Jason Aaron going forward. These first 4 issues feature focuses on the 4 main turtles and the places that they are in right now. Do we know why they're in those places? No. Would we know why they're in those places? Also no. But it gives you a beat to allow Aaron to kind of like reintroduce the characters, reintroduce sort of some of the setting that's been happening. And it was a great first issue. This first issue is drawn by Joelle Jones. The first 4 issues are drawn by a menagerie of great creators. I know Chris Burnham is coming up. I know Raphael Albuquerque is coming up. And I do forget the 4th one. I kind of wish that there was a little thing in here. But 4 absolutely heavy hitters coming out the gate because they really want, they really want this to do well. And honestly, it should. For the first customers who come in and grab a Turtles, there's pins, baby. For number 1, there's Raphael pins of his little bandana. And that's really cool. I really like it. Another big launch this week is NYX number 1. This is sort of like the ground level New York teens series, mainly starring Kamala Khan. And you also have X-23, the real Wolverine, here, looking in all her absy glory. Look at that. She could wreck your life. So this run is from Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. They do absolutely amazing work in and around both independent comics and for Marvel and DC. I really like the ideas that they're throwing out, and I always enjoy a good sort of like street level X-Men team, and this is kind of what we're getting here with the kids really trying to forge their own path instead of following around maybe the mistakes of some of the adults that have brought them to the place that they're in. Sean, I'm writing down that request right now. Cover B. Oh. Finally, for single issues, we have the return of James Tynion and Alvaro Martinez Bueno's Nice House series. This time we're at a nice house by the sea, and it continues along with the story set up in Nice House by the lake. Why is it by the sea right now? Well, that's spoilers for if you haven't read the first series. This is a ton of pages for what is pretty much a regular comics price these days. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain without sort of giving away the why of the previous series. Nice House on the Lake is a great horror series about a bunch of people who were brought to a house, and then this isn't quite a spoiler, but a type of apocalypse happens, and but the hows and whys of why these people are at a house is a mystery, and this is another take on that world in another place. Yeah, I like it. I think this is like a color that's really suiting me and my life. I seem to be gravitating towards it in a lot of my different things. And it's nice. It feels nice. It's a little bouncy. Boom, boom. Because it was feeling a little flimsy not having a phone case. Alrighty. Well, actually, I do have another bit of single issues to talk about. This I'll bring up the pitch for because I've got it. So hope you folks are doing well. Are you watching anything interesting lately? I've been rocking back and forth between Murder, She Wrote, which is has been sort of like a calming presence. Like, you know, a crime will be solved within the span of 47 minutes, sometimes 49 minutes, because TV ran longer back in the day. And that's provided a bit of calm. And I've also been watching a bit of All in the Family, which is very interesting to watch in our modern context because you have a character at the core of it who's just saying absolutely horrible things about people, and that's the bit. He is not a good person, and he is shown not to be a good person throughout it. He is the butt of the joke and not sort of like the, yeah, he's really speaking truth. No, he's a dick. Anyways, I'll talk about Burn here. It's the newest from Distillery, from Joe Henderson and Lee Garbett. They did Skyward together and Shadecraft. I loved Skyward. Skyward was a great book about a world where gravity kind of gets turned off, and you know, people got lost in that because you don't expect gravity to turn off, and not inside. It's a little difficult. That ran for a good 18 issues. It was a really nice series. Joe Henderson also show ran Lucifer, which will probably mean great things for some and horrible things for others. But Lucifer is a fun show that a lot of people who were fans of the Neil Gaiman Sandman style Mike Carey series were not necessarily fans of, but taking it out of that context is a really good show for where it's aiming at, which is procedural crime, like a Murder, She Wrote, but with Satan. All right. Owen and Carly are the Bonnie and Clyde of the 21st century, a smooth, slick duo who pull off the impossible heists and have the time of their lives doing it. But when justice finally catches up to them, they think it's all over. Until the devil himself, hey, themes, offers them a deal, their freedom for their very souls. But they soon find that without their souls, their love is missing too. So they set out to recruit a crew of the damned for the ultimate heist, break into hell and steal their souls back. I mean, that's cool. A perfectly Joe Henderson and Lee Garbett invite you on a thrilling journey to a hell you've never seen before. A place perfectly designed to give people hope so that the devil can torture them with it when he takes it away again and again. That's right. Hell is a casino. And even with the greatest team of thieves, the house always wins. Soul Heist. Just slap that down in front of people and just go, Soul Heist. Yeah, the new season just wrapped up. I've been hearing really great things. I think I'm in the midst of season 3 of that one right now. Not for lack of want to seeing it through, but sometimes, especially when you're doing comics all day, you come home and your first thought isn't like, I'm gonna fit in some more comic stuff. Danica's at season 11 of Supernatural. 10 was so starting to get distracted by Ghost's GIF on YouTube. Mostly what I know about Supernatural past season 5, I know Danica and I have talked about it, is that like there's ebbs and flows to it because there's like 15 seasons. So there's great seasons and there's like seasons. Though I heard when it gets around, I want to say season 12 to the end, it gets like real cool again. And Sean, I'm tempted for Matlock because one of the other series I'm going to take an aim at pretty soon here, if there's a good price for it, is the Andy Griffith Show. Starring Andy Griffith. Also starring Don Knotts. What a wonderful show. I've had the first 5 seasons before. Like I said, I'm aiming for a whole collection. And I just really like the Andy Griffith Show in part because, see, you got it. I will do that. I will do that for sure. And Andy Griffith is absolutely on Pluto, but not all of it. Some of it. Only taste of it. When I was a kid, my grandparents, my granny and my papa had a trailer down at Pine Lake that they stayed in, and until the year the Twister hit. Yeah, he sure was. Ronnie Howard. He was Opie. Andy's kid. And she had 4 VHS tapes of 2 episodes each of the Andy Griffith Show that she'd picked up for cheap at a Walmart. And they're wonderful. They're so much fun. One of my favorites, as apparently one of the big favorites of the whole series, is the Loaded Goat, where there's been some demolition that people are doing with dynamite. And a goat eats this dynamite. And so they really need to take care of this goat so that it doesn't blow up the town. And so they lock it in a padded cell. And then the town drunk, who sort of has his quarters and kind of comes and goes as he pleases, because like he shouldn't be publicly intoxicated, and they're like kind of chill about it, like, no, just come on, go to your cell. So he kind of comes and goes as he pleases a little bit. Goes into the cell and almost kicks the goat. Anyways, it's kind of funny. It's really nice. But one of the things I really like about it is there's a point made in the series that that Andy does not carry a gun. In so many words, because he says when you have a gun, you end up with gun problems. And so he approaches all situations with the utmost empathy, and really tries to keep a nice town. And I think that's lost when people say like, man, we should go back to like the times of Mayberry. And they should really kind of look at the heart of a show like that and maybe some of the reasons why that's a idyllic place. And it's because a lot of violence was kept out of it by design from somebody who's running the place. People weren't just jailed for their bad circumstance. There was compassion and empathy to the way that the entire town ran. That's really where we should go back to, I think. All right. I've got graphic novels for you, including the newest release from the Manga Explaining folks. They coordinate with Fantagraphics, and they pick great projects from Japan that have not come over here, and they really do an amazing job, both in design and with curation. These books that you find are not just for folks who love the manga style, but they're just absolutely incredible works of art. The artistry in here is stunning, and the storytelling is really great. This is a tale of rage against hypocrisy, injustice, exploitation, and the wrongs done to a child who grew into a righteous killer. Complete in 3 volumes, this is the first one. Search and Destroy transplants the vengeful action of Dorora from feudal Japan into a dystopian future where mercenary robots known as creatures serve the human elite and victimize the city's scrabbling, desperate masses. The violent death of one of these creatures connects an orphaned thief named Doro with a mysterious girl in a stinking animal hide that conceals deadly cybernetic implants. Who is this mysterious girl? How is she killing one by one the city's most twisted and powerful creatures? Search and Destroy is a brilliantly crafted thriller about an outsider looking for meaning and vengeance in an unjust world that took everything away from her. This is by Atsushi Kaneko, and is reimagining of Dororo by Osamu Tezuka, who did Buddha and Astro Boy, the god of manga, as he is known. We have Ghost Keeper, a new YA book. Dorian Leith can see ghosts. And not only that, but he listens to their problems and tries to help them move on to the afterlife. It's a gift that's made him an outcast to everyone in town. That is, except for his dearly departed grandmother, who he's partnered with to turn this paranormal ability into an honest living. And the local bookshop owner, who seems to be the only non-deceased person willing to give him a chance. But it's all worth it to Dorian, who feels like he's been given a bigger purpose, a chance to save those who can't save themselves. Then one day, the key to death's door is stolen, trapping all the ghosts in the land of the living. Since he's the only one who can see them, the spirits rely on Dorian to retrieve the key before it's too late. If they can't move on, they'll soon be consumed by the ghostly rot that has begun to plague them. As this rot continues to fester and spread, and the ghosts become desperate for relief, Dorian must do what it takes to find a way to bring peace to the restless dead, even if that peace comes at a cost of his own. Very cool. I do have a couple extra copies of Search and Destroy for sure. Today when I was walking around, when I got home, I stepped in a bit of cat vom, so dealing with a bit of weirdness because I don't have any socks on. It felt weird to keep one sock on, and I didn't have enough time to like go change socks because I was setting up. Not that it will happen, but for all you weirdos out there, I say that with kindness. There is a significantly higher chance of seeing feet on this broadcast than any of the other times we've broadcast. So put those feet in the comments, feet emojis in the comments. All right, we've got the final installment of Friday. This from Ed Brubaker and Marcos Martin. It's a conclusion of the series that I always described as an Encyclopedia Jones style tale done by Edward Gorey. fantastic series that melds a creeping sense of supernatural in with sort of your kid detective tales, and is an absolutely brilliant bit of business. I'm so excited for this final bit to get here. I'm very happy about it. Fate's in the comments. That's no problem. It's all good, Carl. By the way, I've got definitely some of the blanks of the Easy Comics epitaphs in your file for you. Yeah, all right. I'm very excited that the first volume of Ram V's run on Detective Comics is now in trade paperback. He has treated this like a gothic opera, basically, including how he's named everything Gotham Nocturne Overture. He'll do kind of like Act 1, Act 2, Intermezzo. So it really features that theme of the opera. And what this is sort of like a grand kind of gothic horror style tale that's happening within the pages of gothic storytelling in general that's happening in the pages of Detective Comics. The stylized logo is absolutely a part of that, and I have absolutely adored this series. This is something that I will be buying for my own personal collection because I've loved this so much. It is very unique and concise story within the Batman universe. It's not sort of like your more rote stories. It really has its own very distinct flavor that I think reaches a larger audience than just sort of the more superhero line people. And I feel like the key to a lot of superhero stuff really growing and becoming bigger is sort of testing out these different corners, adding these different flavors, getting these new tastes happening, and I'm really happy. Ben, I can absolutely make that happen for you. I'll write that down. And finally, we have 2000 AD versus Battle Action. This takes characters from the 2000 AD universe and smashes them against the UK's Battle Action comics that happened back in the 80s. So you have your more sci-fi take and your more war stories take, and you have everything, like I said, smashing together. This crossover sees Judge Dredd feature in a brand new reimagining of Action's most controversial strip, Kids Rule, okay? And includes Dark's Mob, Death Game 2049, and Major Easy, amongst others. So it's got a lot of different flavors from the UK scene. I really love 2000 AD stuff. I like the history of comics in the UK scene and how they are very different than they are over here. There's been always a solid weekly anthology style series that have always been strong there, ranging from sort of your 2000 AD for an older audience to Battle Action to your Beanos, your Dandies, Comics for Girls, Misty, which was like a spooky girls, Tandy, I believe, for less spooky girls, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, good times. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this round. Thank you all for hanging out here. It's that time of the show where sometimes, most times, I feel like getting out the magic mirror, looking through it and saying, hi, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. We can see you through there. And we hope that you're doing well. And know that as you are here for us tonight, we are also here for you too. So I'm looking through here and I'm seeing Bryce. Hey, Bryce. I'm seeing Ben. Hi, Ben. I'm seeing Danica. Hi, Danica. Say hi to the babies for me. I'm seeing Taz. Hey, Taz. I'm seeing Carl. Thanks for hanging out, Carl. I'm I'm seeing Sean. Hi, Sean. Do. I'm seeing Lyndon. Howdy, Lyndon. Ba-da-da. And that is everybody. Well, thanks again for hanging out with me tonight. There's a few things that I am excited to read. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, we'll see each other this week. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.